So the WNBA may have a issue when it comes to getting college stars to the league once they are eligible. In other words, say for example, a college player is making way more than they will be making once they hit the WNBA. That can cause some issues. So I came across this front office sports article. It talked about how some women's college basketball players, some college basketball stars are making way more than they would if they went to the WNBA. WNBA economics complicate draft choices for stars like Beckers and Fudd. The two UConn stars could return for another year in college or declare for the WNBA draft in April. All right, here we go. AZ Fudd could easily be a first round pick and potentially a top 5 selection in the WNBA draft in April. But the 22-year-old may choose to return to UConn next year after she missed most of last season with a torn ACL. And she told reporters on Saturday that she's still unsure about her decision. Quote, I think I have to sit down with my family, with the people closest to me, and just talk through the decisions, options, Fudd said. I think a pros and cons list is in my near future. Fudd isn't the only top pick who could return to the NCAA next year. Paige Beckers, Fudd's teammate and the projected #1 overall pick, can also return for a 5th year due to eligibility waiver from the COVID-19 season. And because she missed the 2022-2023 season with a torn ACL as well. And then it goes on to mention another player. Notre Dame's Olivia Miles, a potential top 3 pick, could also return to college next season. UCLA's Lauren Betts is eligible for the 2025 WNBA draft, but she announced earlier this month that she will return to the Bruins for her senior season. And then it goes on, the article goes on to list the top players who don't have any eligibility left next season. You see Kiki, Anissa Morrow, Cheyenne Sellers, Haley Van Leith. A lot of good players right there. Here we go. So unlike the NBA, where players need to be only 1 year removed from high school to declare for the draft, NCAA women's basketball players must be at least 22 years old during the year of the WNBA draft to be eligible. International players must be at least 20 years old. So why stay in college? Why stay in college? This is the question, right? Because you're a star in college. You're making X amount. Let me rewind. Before NIL, when you were in college, your goal was to make it to the pros, not only because you wanted to prove it to yourself, prove it to everybody else, but it was also a bump in financials, I should say. It was a bump that you were going to get like, okay, I'm working now. I can start making money. I'm making X amount of money now. But now with the NIL, players are making more money in college. Women's college players are making more money in college than their base salary would be if they were in the WNBA. So let's read this. The #1 overall pick in the 2025 WNBA draft will be making less than $350K over 4 years. That's about $87K per year. And I want y'all to see this. 87K. So let's say around the age, if you're the #1 overall pick, say that's Paige Becker. She's the #1 overall pick if she enters the draft. Let's see what Paige Beckers is making. This is another article. You see this? Let's see. She has a lot of NIL stuff. She's with Nike. She partnered with Unrivaled, the 3-on-3 league for WNBA players. She has a valuation. This is back in August 2024. A valuation of $1 million this year for NIL. $1 million versus 87K. 1 million, 87K. 1 million, 87K. It's not that hard to pick. It's not that hard to pick. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep it real. And if I was in Paige Becker's shoes, this is speaking from my perspective. If I was in Paige Becker's shoes, you tell me, hey, you can go to the WNBA and say she didn't have the off the court stuff. Say all that stopped once she hit the WNBA. I'm easily staying another year in college. But that also brings me to another point. Players like Paige Beckers, you can link her to the players from last draft, the star-studded draft. Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Rakia Jackson, Cam Brink. They're going to be good once they hit the WNBA. That money is not going to stop flowing, right? Paige was Nike. Caitlin with Nike. Angel Reese with Reebok, and she has a bunch of stuff going on. Cam Brink with New Balance. She has a podcast. A lot of stuff going on. Rakia Jackson, she's with Skechers. I'm sure she has some other stuff going on. So it doesn't really hurt them in terms of really taking a dip when they get to the WNBA. In some cases, it probably, elevated them, right? But say you're not on the level of a Paige Beckers and the players I just mentioned. Say you're making 100K in college or 200K, and you're eligible. You're 22. You're a star of your team. You're eligible. Would you go to the WNBA if you're only going to be making 70K a year? No. The answer is no. You would exhaust your eligibility and wait for that new deal to kick in, that 2026. They're supposed to be getting a new media rights deal, a new TV deal, new CBA. They're supposed to be getting a bump in salary. The players are going to get a bump in salary. So I will just wait it out, exhaust my eligibility, and just, wait and see. Just wait and see. It's like financially, it's not. I know I'm speaking about financials, and when it comes to sports, it shouldn't be all about that. But to say it doesn't matter, that's just being ignorant, in my opinion. In my opinion, that's just me. Also, I want to add this. When you hit the WNBA, these first round picks are not even guaranteed roster spots. It was a number 8 overall pick in that article, the front office article that I read. Number 8 overall pick. She didn't even play in the WNBA in 2022. She was number 8 overall pick, never played in the WNBA. Now I know more teams are being added. The Golden State, Toronto, and Portland in a few years, they're getting teams. So more roster spots for more talent. So hopefully with this new deal, CBA deal, media rights deal, the ladies will be compensated and making more than what they are making now. I want to hear from y'all. What do you think? Do you think this is an issue for the WNBA in terms of money that players are getting in college versus what their base salary will be when they get to the league? Will it, cause some disturbance? Let me know in the comments.